Good morning, everyone. This morning we're going to do a quick setup video of the now most popular DSP A8D. We have this in the Awave and the MS DSP 8-inch steg, and they have similar configurations to set up. The software we're doing today is Awave 3.8.1.6, available on the Awave website or from your dealer. So this is the product we're doing, the DSP A8. The DSP A8, as I said now, is easily the most popular DSP we've sold, and many people have got some questions. So today we will discuss if you're going to use a set of splits or active with running full range or mid bass and your sub and the tweeter. So here we start off today. What we want to do today, we are offline, so we'll connect the software. Firstly, the most important question to start the day is this page here, your input page. And on this input page, you go and find all the inputs you want to have. So if you have high level inputs, they're found there. And then most often we set this either if you have optical output. We are using Bluetooth today, and 90% of people will use Bluetooth. Now, to set up this page, you're going to choose where you'd like to get your signal from. We like to use our signal for Bluetooth because it is a full range signal already. So you drag your left to channel 1, 2, we're going to keep our even numbers as our rights, and you drag them to all of the same left and right, left and right. This is quite important because all Bluetooth signals are full range, and sometimes if you're missing a signal or you need to sum with your high levels, you would actually need to combine a few of the channels, whereas with Bluetooth it's just left and right in the Bluetooth domain. So now you've chosen Bluetooth, and the input you signals you're using are left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Now the next step, if you get high level inputs and you've chosen 2, you can take 1 and 2 if those are your only 2 inputs. If you need to sum, you would now need to add your input 3, input 4, input 5, input 6. This has 6 inputs, and you can choose in a car to choose all 6 inputs into the input section. And if you do that, you can then sum here. So 1 and 3 and 5, 1 and 3 and 5. We can go into the more advanced later. If you want more of one, you can see there are percentages there you can change and say not to have so much of a certain frequency, but generally you'll use 100%. Then you sum again, you go 2, 4 and 6 to get a full range signal for your left and right. So these are all your high level inputs, and the left and the right. You do the same for channel 2 and 3 and 4. This is important for subwoofer channels because the subwoofer channels need to get sub bass from somewhere. If you're using Bluetooth, it has a full range signal. Now we'll go back to the main menu. This is important, and you can go further on this. On the main menu, we're now going to choose what the speakers are going to be. As I said before, if you're going to choose it's going to be a front, left, if it's a full range speaker, because you're using a set of splits with a passive, then the crossover is quite basic. You go there, you choose full range, you go to the right hand side of the page, you make it high pass, you can make that, let's just say generically 100 and 24 dB, and Butterworth for a good sounding car, and then basically that's channel 1. Then channel 1 will give you the crossover frequency that's going to play. Let's quickly change that and say our channel 1 is going to be an active component. It's front, left, tweeter. If you choose front, left, tweeter, the software will automatically choose a 3000 high pass at a 12 dB slope. If this is the slope you'd like to use, that's fine. Usually we alter it and we make it a bit more steep because it's in an A-pillar, make it 24 dB. Let's just change that to 4000 for the demonstration. And once that's set in, you'll see there that crossover now represents that. Okay, so that would be tweeters. That's called tweeters. The default will be a tweeter on the left side, and then that's basically how you set it up. Now, the most interesting question we're getting is if you choose to use channel 3 and 4 for a full range speaker. A speaker like, say, the Steg, or an Atmos speaker, or a 3-inch mid-range, or any mid-range of any sort. You would then change the description of your speaker from a full range speaker, be your front, still be your left, and you change it to a mid-range. Then the frequency is a band pass, and that's important. You want to run your mid-range in a band pass that suits you. You then go to the side and adjust both the high pass and the low pass. So mostly those type of speakers play from 500. You can protect them with a 24 dB slope, and the top they roll off at about, say, 10k. And we also make that 24 dB for the summing, and when you put them all together, they actually all, that's the frequency your mid-range is going to play. And then in that case, if you're going to use a mid-bass speaker, like a 6-inch, then you'll choose channel 5 and 6 to be a mid-bass speaker. Then again, it'll be your front, your lefts will be in your odd numbers, and then a mid-range woofer. When you get a mid-range woofer, it's still a band pass, and that's how you want it in a 4-way setup with a sub. So again, it'll be 80. Let's just do, for all of them to look similar, we'll do a 24 dB slope, and then we'll roll this off at the 500, where we want to play the full range or the mid-range speaker. And we make it like that. Now let's have a look at how our speakers are actually going to play. Okay, let's complete it with a sub. Let's add a sub in there. The front's a subwoofer. You only have one, not a left and right. You have one subwoofer, you choose it, and when you choose that subwoofer, the crossover is offered to you of an 80 dB low pass, but with 24 dB slope. Now you can have a look at all the speakers that you've got in your system. So you just highlight them, and you want to see them on the screen. This is your left hand side of your car. Let's do channel 3. I thought we had crossed that one over. 500 to 1200, channel 3. Okay, so this is choosing 4000, my mistake. So this goes up to tweeter, 4000, and 24 dB slope, Butterworth, and then that will be channel 3. So there's channel 3. Channel 5 is the mid-bass speaker. Now you have your sub, your mid-bass, your mid-range, and the tweeter all showing there. And then you can see, let's just take out the ones that actually aren't set across over here. So there's basically your frequency. 80 for the sub, mid-bass speaker band passed, mid-range speaker band passed, and tweeter band passed. So that's basically the frequency responses that you've chosen. They're chosen there. Now the important thing to do is to go into save. And what you want to do is the work you've done so far. You save it in number 1. Save 1. It'll save it. And then when you says OK, you push OK, and then you load. This doesn't load, we're not joined to a processor. And then you load 1, and then all the work you've done so far on those settings will save at channel 1. Now you might recognize now that you might not have some sub bass coming through to your sub. That's because each speaker has a level gain, and we'll add sub bass here, and then the sub will be set to the level setting that you want to play up to 80 Hertz, and that's your sub volume, the master volume of the whole processor, and channel 1. Hopefully this gives you a couple of ideas of how to integrate the speaker choices you have, whether you've got a sub or if you've got mid-range or tweeters on your system. This is a quick shortcut on how to set up the DSP A8.